Welcome to Daily Finance News, your go-to channel for breaking news, analysis, and expert insights into the world of finance. I'm your host name. And today we have a groundbreaking story that could potentially reshape the global financial landscape. The BRICS nations, composed of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, have just announced their plans to introduce a new currency, one that is intended to replace the US dollar in international transactions amongst themselves. This is a monumental development, and its implications are far-reaching. In this special multi-part series, we'll delve into what this means for the global economy, the potential benefits and challenges, and the impact on you as an investor or consumer. Let's get started. To understand the motivation behind this decision, it's essential to comprehend the current role of the US dollar in global trade. As it stands, the US dollar is the world's primary reserve currency. This means it is widely used in international trade and held by central banks as a form of foreign exchange reserves. But the dominance of the US dollar isn't universally appreciated. Countries like China and Russia have long expressed dissatisfaction with the US dollar's hegemony, arguing that it gives the US an unfair advantage in the global economy. For these countries, the new currency presents an opportunity to move away from this dollar-centric system and create a more balanced, multipolar economic world order. Moreover, it could potentially shield the BRICS countries from fluctuations in the US dollar and insulate their economies from US monetary policy changes. But this isn't a simple switch. Introducing a new currency is a complex task with numerous hurdles. First, the BRICS countries have diverse economies with varying levels of development, making the unification process challenging. Second, it's unclear what the new currency would be backed by. While the gold standard has been suggested, it has its own set of problems, including limits to monetary policy and potential deflation. Lastly, the new currency would need to gain acceptance not just amongst the BRICS nations, but also from other economies. This could be a difficult sell, especially given the US dollar's established dominance and widespread use. In the next segment, we'll delve into the possible impact of this move on the global economy. Will it lead to a financial revolution, or is it just a pipe dream? Stay tuned to find out. In the global economy, the US dollar has long been the king. Its stability, liquidity, and the US government's ability to maintain low inflation rates have made it the preferred choice for trade and reserves. But if the BRICS countries succeed in their plan, the global financial landscape could be in for a major. The new currency could potentially reduce the demand for the US dollar and weaken its position as the world's primary reserve currency. In the short term, this might lead to a devaluation of the US dollar and potentially higher inflation rates. For countries holding significant US dollar reserves, this could mean a devaluation of their assets. But on the other hand, it could also mean more stability for the BRICS economies. Currently, these economies are highly susceptible to US monetary policy and economic cycles. By having their own currency, they could potentially insulate themselves from such external shocks. Moreover, it could give these countries more control over their economic policies. They would no longer be tied to the monetary policy of the US Federal Reserve and could potentially have more leeway to manage their economies according to their needs. But it's not just about the BRICS countries. The introduction of a new currency could potentially lead to a more balanced and multipolar global financial order. It could offer other countries an alternative to the US dollar, especially those looking to decrease their dependence on it. However, these changes won't happen overnight. The successful introduction and acceptance of a new currency requires significant cooperation and coordination amongst the BRICS countries. Furthermore, it would need to be accepted by other countries, including those outside the BRICS bloc. Acceptance of the new currency would depend on a variety of factors, including its stability, the strength of the economies backing it, and the willingness of other countries to hold and use the currency. Trust, in this case, would be a key factor. In the next segment, we'll delve into the potential impact of this move on investors and consumers. How would it affect your investments, savings, and everyday transactions? Stay tuned to find out. The impact of a new BRICS currency on investors and consumers would depend on a number of factors, including where you live, where you invest, and the currency in which you transact. For investors in the US or those heavily invested in US assets, this move could potentially lead to a decrease in the value of their investments, especially if the US dollar depreciates as a result. On the other hand, those invested in BRICS economies might see an increase in the value of their investments as these economies potentially stabilize and grow. For consumers, the impact would depend largely on where and in what currency they transact. If the US dollar depreciates, it could lead to higher inflation and increased costs for imported goods. However, if the new BRICS currency is stable and widely accepted, it could potentially lead to more stable prices and less exposure to fluctuations in the US dollar. In conclusion, the introduction of a new BRICS currency is a monumental move with far-reaching implications. It has the potential to reshape the global financial landscape, offering a potential alternative to the US dollar. But the road to its successful introduction and acceptance is fraught with challenges. It would require significant cooperation and coordination amongst the BRICS countries, and acceptance from other economies. Whether it leads to a financial revolution or remains a pipe dream, only time will tell. For now, all eyes will be on the BRICS countries as they embark on this ambitious venture. In the upcoming segments, we'll continue to follow this story, providing you with expert analysis and insights. Stay tuned to Daily Finance News for more. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.